Welcome.
Hello, everyone. This is Lloyd of THN Games and Sir Ember once again.
Hey.
And we are back reacting to about Strange but True stories once again, and of how our government knows that aliens exist. And this is an actual true story. And again, this is another story that my dad shared me a long time ago, and I'm now sharing it to Ember.
Let's see if this will pass my test of skepticism. Because I'm very, very skeptical.
Right. Alright, well, I don't know about you, but let's get into it.
I had something to say. Oh, yeah. You guys seem to like the last one so much that we figured, why not do another one?
Sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it.
All right.
Oh.
What do you got for us? What's his name again?
Steve.
All right, Steve.
Steve White.
Steve White.
Strange, but true stories. Tales from the light side, the dark side, and the other side. I'm Steve White. What happened in Dulce, New Mexico in 1979, and what did it reveal about the U.S. government and its relationship with aliens?
I think I've heard of this before.
Have we been visited by extraterrestrials? Did ancient aliens provide technology to catalyze human civilization thousands of years ago?
Was this the thing that Futurama
Are they still
appeared?
living among us now?
I don't remember.
What if extraterrestrials are not only here now, but working with our military and our government to help develop today's technology? More than 20 years ago, one person attempted to warn us that not only were aliens here on planet Earth, but that they were working with the United States government and other governments around the world on secret military projects. His reasoning for attempting to expose this information, he said, was to get the U.S. government to be transparent about what they were doing and to let people know the truth about what happened in Dulce, New Mexico in 1979. It may have ultimately cost him his life.
Ooh.
Dulce, New Mexico is a small town of about 3,000 mostly Native American people located near the Colorado border. It's home to the Jicarilla Apache Reservation, and for quite a while, it's also been the site of strange alien activity.
Dulce is a quiet, unassuming town nestled in northern New Mexico. Many of its residents are members of the Jicarilla Apache tribe. They swear.
I tell stories, but my nose isn't growing.
They are not making this up.
They threw down a ladder from that spaceship, and then two small people started climbing down.
This once quiet town started to heat up with UFO sightings and other weird occurrences in the 1970s. Bigfoot encounters and strange animal mutilations were also reported. Then, in August 1979, hell broke loose under the Archuleta Mesa. Philip Schneider was a geologist and engineer who worked as a contractor for the U.S. government for 17 years. He was helping to build an addition to a subterranean military base in Dulce, New Mexico. After 4 holes were bored several miles into the ground, Schneider was lowered into one to check the rock samples to determine what blasting material needed to be utilized. Instead, he unwittingly stumbled upon something he was never told about, and he certainly never anticipated seeing.
For this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person was or the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time to reach for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the Folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This is in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in a almost like a spacesuit environment. and you're reaching for a gun, it's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. And burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my left foot. Burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember was the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up.
When the smoke cleared, more than 60 soldiers had been killed, and
I'm trying to think of something to say, but I can't really think of it. Also, your game is still on.
Yeah, I know. I can go get it. It's fine.
What a professional. Knows to have the games on pause when they start going live.
Shut up. Just, do you have any thoughts?
I
Being serious,
mean,
though, like,
yeah, I know. I really can't think of what thoughts to give. It's like,
yeah.
it's that's crazy. And he burnt off his fingers.
Yeah, like burnt his fingers off of him. It said it also burned all of his toenails off of him. Burnt the shoe right off of him.
That's so weird. And you saw that picture that was like kind of half faded in there.
Well, he did that with almost every picture that he had. So, but yes, the aliens.
Yes, that's not related to my point at all. That looks just like the thumbnail that we made, and we generated that with AI.
Yep.
We didn't even like make that or find that.
No.
That was weird.
But anything else before we get back to it?
I guess we haven't gotten to the good part yet.
No, that actually was
numerous
the good
alien.
Oh, that was the fact that he got his fingers and shoe
Like
burnt off?
that was like part of the whole story. The rest is I think the rest of the story is later on. I think.
Grays had been killed or injured. Schneider suffered a wound to his chest and lost 3 fingers on his left hand as a result of his fight with the alien Gray. Schneider, who was one of 3 survivors from the battle, claimed in that speech from 1995 that the U.S. government had been aware of the alien Greys since the early 1900s and had been working with them for a while prior to the 1947 Roswell incident.
Unfortunately, that's what the public's been told. The military's known about the alien question for the better part of 70 years, and they first saw their glimpse of what was going on as early as 1909 in the American Southwest. Now, Army cavalry evidently were chasing some bandits, and they entered this cave. They were holed up in a cave, and what they found in there was flying discs and little gray guys and all kinds of weird things, and they didn't know how to explain that, and they wrote them down as best they could, and it's been in secret archives ever since.
In addition, he recounted in a later conversation that the black eyes are actually eye shields. Schneider said that an eye shield from one of the alien Greys he shot popped out, revealing a reptilian-like eye underneath. In the speeches he gave in the mid-1990s about his alien encounter in New Mexico, Schneider revealed that there were close to 1,500 underground bases in the world, with 131 of them in the United States, with a subterranean high-speed rail system connecting these particular bases. Schneider did not remain quiet about the battle with the alien Greys in 1979. Instead, he became an outspoken advocate calling for the government to be more transparent about their knowledge of alien life, presenting a series of lectures about what he encountered in 1979, the Dulce Wars between the U.S. military and the alien Greys, and the history of the alien-human relationship here on Earth. He revealed that a lot of the materials and coatings used on military aircraft and submarines had been developed in association with the aliens that the government was working with. He would have kept on telling the story of aliens here on Earth, but Schneider died in Wilsonville, Oregon in January 1996.
17th.
His death was ruled a suicide, but many believe he was instead silenced by the government for his continued exposure of the alien agenda. So are there aliens living among us, above us, and below us? Phil Schneider and many others would say it's strange, but true. This has been another strange but true story.
Alright, well. Also, whenever I see that tag, I always misread it as strange butt roosteries.
Oh, yeah, I see.
I can't help but see the word butt in there.
No, it's fine.
B-U-T-T.
No, it's fine.
Anyways. I don't know. Like, the fact... and yeah, his fingers and all that were gone. And look, how long ago was it between when he was talking and when the event actually happened?
79 and 95. So the speech, or yeah, I think it says it like at the when he starts talking, I think that's when it starts, or when it says the date.
For these underground bases.
Yeah, 95. So this happened in I think 79, and yeah, this happened in 1979. So 95, almost 20 something years, I think. 5, 79, 16 years.
Okay. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that, like, aliens with such high advanced technology would be able to be stopped by a normal human gun. And the fact of, why would he...
He was being lowered into, like, one of the bases. That's why he encountered them.
Okay. He was being lowered into one of the bases. Why?
Just so I think it was a discovery kind of thing. I think so.
To a subterranean military base in Dulce, New Mexico. After 4 holes were bored several miles into the ground, Schneider was lowered into one to check the rock samples to determine what blasting material needed to be utilized.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright, so he was checking stuff down there.
He was checking rock samples just to see what blew the holes in the first place.
So, these aliens can fire an electric beam that's powerful enough to burn off someone's fingers and foot, but they can't stop a bullet.
Well, they didn't know he was gonna shoot at the first place.
Well, I mean, supposedly they've been here for a long time. Surely at this point in their mission, they would have an understanding of human life form and how human psychology, and I don't know. I feel like they could have predicted that. It's like, for example, how many beekeepers do you know that work with bees without a suit on?
2.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, bees that are not their own.
Still 2, yeah.
Still 2? No, personally, or have seen?
Seen.
Okay. Okay, let me phrase that in a different way. So what I'm getting at is... beekeepers understand these creatures. They know, like, how they're going to react to certain situations, and they understand that if they feel threatened, or in some way, that they're going to attack. I don't know how these aliens couldn't have grasped that, if they've been on Earth for a long time and understand, to some degree, human beings.
Well, I mean, if the government was supposed to know about them, then they would have told them about they wouldn't have told them about how human beings are in the first place. Honestly,
What?
I know alien life would easily study us. I know
Yeah,
that
they
for
would.
a fact.
They wouldn't like. We wouldn't like give them a book on here's how human psychology works. They'd like take us and study us.
Mm-hmm.
They'd conduct their own research. Like we're inferior beings to them. Why would they trust?
But
what we have
I
to
would
say?
assume if someone attacks first, they would attack back.
Which they did.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They wouldn't have made the first attack in the first place.
But they didn't attack until he attacked them.
Right, so I'm saying they're peaceful until harmed. They're not just gonna shoot at some human being for doing nothing.
Well, I'm not saying why didn't they shoot him immediately. I'm saying why didn't they like have some sort of protection against these sort of things that could happen?
Because they never knew because they cannot predict human beings. Cannot predict what a human being's gonna do.
Then they're really bad aliens. If they came here to study us and like understand our behavior, then they're really not doing a good job. I don't know. That's the thing that gets me the most. But yeah, the video wasn't bad. It was interesting, and it does have a lot of really solid points, and that's really the only one I could think of that stuck out to me as like, overall, this was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to say this on stream for the record, so you're contractually obligated. I have something planned for later that I want to show you.
Oh no. Oh gosh.
Get ready. It's gonna be fun.
No, I'm not ready at all.
We don't have to do it now because he's got to go to work soon, as you can tell by the shirt. The shirt right here,
There we go.
the logo.
Yep.
He's a Wendy's boy. He used to work for the Colonel. Now he works for the sassy redhead. Anyway, I think
That's probably gonna be it for us, honestly.
yeah, that's all we're doing. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, honestly.
All right, well, see you guys probably